Happy Valentine's month, everybody. I'm the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to share with you some of my favorite Valentine's Day episodes from TV shows or even movies. Not everything is all lovey-dovey. Sometimes Valentine's Days deal with heartache and everything. So, some episodes will be romantic and lovey-dovey, while others will be very sad and heart-wrenching and stuff. But love is love. It doesn't always come with smiles and giggles and glee. So I'm here today to talk to you about Amelia Parker's season 1 episode 4, Learning by Heart. So in this episode, Amelia now has her very first crush, which of course she still has select mutism. So the question is, how exactly is she gonna be able to tell her crush that she likes him? Well, never fear, her friends are there to make things worse. As you already know, in this show, every time she tries to do something, it always backfires and everything. However, that's not the only thing going on with her in this episode. So, she's crushing on this dude named Rufus. He looks familiar. I'm pretty sure I've seen him in something else, but I can't think what it is. And so, because she has select mutism, she has no idea how she's going to tell him. So, in her mind, because we all know she can talk, because she talks to us, the audience, and the actress can still talk too. In her mind, she's just gonna walk up to me like, "Hey, wanna go out?" He's like, "Sure." She's like, "All right." And then they start dating. And then so her friend tells her that you can't do that and everything. Like, you gotta be more romantic and everything. So what he does is he shows her this Bollywood movie where this one guy likes this one lady, and then so they start dancing, and then something, they fall in love. So he's all like, if you want to woo this guy, you gotta do that. And so they watched the movie, they watched the Bollywood dance. And in her mind, she's pretending that, she's having this Bollywood dance number with Rufus and her friends and these other people that are like dancers and stuff. And so she's like, in her mind, she's like, all right, I'm gonna do this. Well, let's get into that a little bit later. And so something else is going on in this episode. Her dad gets a call from the principal telling her father that Amelia is gifted and he wants to have a word with him. Her dad is ecstatic. I think he's a doctor. And so when he was growing up, he was telling her, incidents when he was having really good days in school, being smart, until the kids picked on him and threw him in the garbage can. He's so excited. He's all like, you know what, you need a new outfit for when we go talk to the principal and everything. So he takes her to the mall, and they pick out outfits, and she's eyeing these shoes, and he notices that she's eyeing these shoes, and so he buys them for her. That's so sweet. And so when she's in class, her and her two friends, they decided they're gonna do the Bollywood number in front of the entire class. Well, actually, they're in the back, and they're hoping that the boy she likes will see that. Well, just like she states, just because you see something and you do it in your head, don't mean you can do it in real life. Boy, I know that for sure. When I went to this one place and I was trying to learn this dance, I'm like, oh, that looks easy. I could pick that up. Boy, I could not pick that up. So I totally relate on that incident. It's weird because you look at something and you think you can do it until you actually start to do it. And then you can't. Or saying a certain word in your head, and then you say it out loud, and then you can't say it. I don't know what the deal with that is. So they bomb big time. And as the dad is talking to the principal, he realizes even though his daughter makes good grades, she's not as gifted as what he thought. See, the principal tells her that he wants to put her in some type of special ed remedial classes. And her dad is really offended by this. He's all like, he don't understand. She has good grades, so what is the problem? And the principal tells her, well, the teachers have a problem because your daughter is in the 8th grade. Their 8th grade is high school. I don't know why. When I was in the 8th grade, it was considered middle school. Anyway, she's in the 8th grade and she still refuses to talk to anybody. And I remember I said she has select mutism when her mom died. They actually show a flashback of when her mom dies in this episode. Now, I never watched the Parker Anderson show, so I have no idea what really that's all about. But this Amelia Parker show is the spin-off to that. So once I watch that, I will be better acquainted as to what exactly happened before these events. I probably should have done that first, but I didn't even know the show existed until I started watching this one. Anyways, so so he's all like, the teachers, they want to be able to connect with your daughter, but they can't because she will not talk to them. Now, she does talk to people in different ways. It's not the way you think. When, like her best friend, that one dude whose name I can't think of right now, the dorky dude, he talks to her all the time. And they're able to communicate very well. Why? Because he's assumed something's going on, so he asks a question, and she just simply nods yes or no. So that's how they're able to communicate. With her brother, she texts him on the phone. For certain other people, she'll just nod or like do a thumbs up, thumbs down, or she'll write it out, But the teachers want to be able to talk. You know how teachers are. They always want to talk to every student and be all in their business and stuff. And so, like, it's the teachers who are all like, they don't think she'll be able to function in society because she doesn't want to talk and she doesn't want to interact with the rest of the students. But she does interact with the students. That's the thing. But the problem is every time she tries to interact with them to get them to like her, it backfires. And then they make fun of her or something. And so, like, her dad is like very upset about this. And he talks to his wife. Now, remember, they come from an interracial family. I wish I would have known about this show around Black History Month because the first episode is a really good example of that. So I gotta find another, but I'm still watching this show. And so, like, he's telling his wife, who's his new wife that is white. He's telling her. Now, by the way, the white family in this black family, they're sweet, they're nice, they're kind. Everybody's kind in this show. So it's not like, oh, they don't necessarily, but the wife at times doesn't really understand what it is like to be black. Because like in the first episode, when her daughter had to go get her hair done, the wife didn't know where to take her. So she took her to like a white salon and everything when she should have went to like a black one. Or you could have went to a white salon, but make sure like that black hairstylist is actually there. That really helps. Trust me. Because I remember one time I went to this one black barbershop and they had this one dude who was white there. Yeah, it's your typical white ghetto like dude, so he's like doing the barber thing. But he did not know how to cut black hair. And my uncle's wife was all like, whatever you do, don't get him. So I'm all like, okay, I'll make sure I don't get him. Everybody was booked up except for him. And I was the next one. I'm like, crap. So as I'm getting my hair cut, and he is messing my hair up. Like, I kid you not, he jacked my hair up. All the other black barbers were just like looking at me like with a sad look on their face, like, Lord have mercy, what have we done to this boy? So I remember how like other barbers cut my hair, and I had to instruct him on how to like, properly cut my hair, and he was able to fix me up. Thank God. One of the most traumatic days of my life in my youth. Because hair is everything. And when you look at Amelia's hair, boy, that is real. Like, that hair is real. So anyway, he's telling his wife he doesn't like the idea that they want his child to be in remedial classes. The wife is all like, well, there's nothing wrong with, remedial classes. A lot of people learn that way. But he's all like, but there's nothing wrong with my daughter. She gets good grades. It's just she will not speak to nobody. And he was talking about how he hates how, like, in the school system, whenever there's a black kid who has a problem in school, the teachers are so quick to, like, push them off and, like, hold them back or whatever. And that really is the truth. Like, like a lot of black kids, just like any kids, they have difficulties learning stuff. Some learn faster than others. Others need more time and more help. But these teachers don't want to give more time and more help. And so whenever like somebody who's not really getting it, they just kind of like, whatever, I don't want to deal with you. And that's really sad in the educational system. Um, and so like what that teacher or the principal they should do, they should just get the girl counseling. They don't have to like put her in special like classes or nothing like that, to make her feel like an outsider or whatever. So then he goes back to the principal and he talks to him. But the principal is kind of like, what are you doing here without an appointment? Like you just can't walk up in my office and like just being rude, you know what I'm saying? And he's all like, well, your secretary said that you're free and all you're doing is playing with your plant, which he was. So it's like, so he tells him straight up, like, he does not want his daughter to be in remedial classes, this and that. And so he's all like, I forgot, the principal dude said something. I forgot what. That just angered him even more. Um, oh man, I cannot think of. It was something, and I kind of like snooty. I don't kind of. It was something. Had to do something about education and. I can't really remember right now. I got so much like other shows in my head and things are just rattling around. I can't remember, but yeah. So like that conversation doesn't really like go nowhere, and so like he tells the dude like my daughter is still going through trauma, like she saw something horrific, that's why she doesn't want to like talk to nobody. And so like he tries to tell me there has to be like another way like y'all can like do something, and the person dude just kind of like shut him up and like shut him off and like, oh no, there's no other way and blah 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 and like crap like that. So that was like really irritating when I saw that part. But anyway, until I can try to remember what happened, let's get back to Amelia and her love thing. So, Bollywood did not work. So her friend, I think her friend name is Dalton. That's the only name I can remember. She's a friend. She's sometimes acts like a little bit of a friend of me. She's very blunt, but she's like a friend all around. She's all like, look, just tell him how you feel. Well, of course, Amelia can't do that. So she's all like, well, this is what you do. Because now kids at school are making fun of her because of the whole Bollywood thing. And they are making fun of her bad. And she is not liking that. And so, like, she's like, why don't you just, like, do the whole gossip train thing. Like, basically, you tell one student and they tell another. So they text that, oh, Amelia has a crush on Rufus. And then, so the text keeps, like, going to, like, person to person, until it finally gets back to him. And when it gets back to him, you know how the whole word chain thing is, things get misscrewed. And so when it gets back to him, it's not the message that she sent. And so he's like kind of weirded out by that. Well, anyways, that don't work. And so her friends, the Daltons, is like, screw it, man. I'm just gonna walk up to him. You're gonna girl up, and I'm gonna tell him how you feel, and I'm gonna bring him over here. And that's what they do. Until her brother Nate comes over. He's all like, I heard he had a crush on Rufus. She's embarrassed. She don't want her brother to know that. So he's like, well, do you or do you not? And this is just a rumor, boy, I'm gonna. But then she's all like, so she gives the thumbs down, talking about she doesn't like Rufus. He sees that. So now he's hurt and everything by it. So she's just like, she don't know what she's gonna do. Like everything she's tried has just like backfired. And so like, she goes back to like her dad, and he's talking with her stepmom, and he's telling her about the situation at school and how they think it'll be best if she starts seeing a counselor again. This upsets her, where she runs to like the steps, and she just like cradles in a ball and she starts crying. As this is happening, we are seeing flashbacks. What happened to her mom? Her mom is driving. They must still be in England at this time, because they are, oh, I forgot to mention, they're from England and everything, the black family. Now the actress who plays Amelia, she is not. She is Canadian, and she's talking with a fake British accent. But everybody else is British. That's black. So anyway, they must still be in Britain as this is going on because the mom is driving and the mom is on the steering wheel's on the right side of the car, and the mom is like driving, but she keeps turning back and looking at somebody and talking to that person. So her eyes are constantly going off the road. Then all of a sudden, boom, a huge car crash happens. I'm gonna assume that the person in the back seat was Amelia. And that's how her mom passed away and died. So when she saw that horrific tragedy and everything, it traumatized her to the point she just doesn't want to talk to nobody no more. She just like, she'll interact with people, but she just don't want to talk. So back at school, they find a way for her to communicate. So they go back to the principal and they're on Amelia's tablet. This is how she communicates with people at times. She types it on her tablet and the tablet has audio and it speaks for her. And the principal is kind of just like, oh, okay, I guess this will have to work and you won't be put in remedial classes and stuff. So then she has a talk with her father. Well, you know how she talks. And so like he tells her the story of how he met her mom and everything and how they first fell in love. It was that day he was in the trash can. She pulled him out because he couldn't pull himself out. And then they just started falling with each other after that. And they was like really young in that age and stuff. So it was like love at first sight. And so like, so she finally bucks up and talks to Rufus. She writes him a note and leaves it in his locker. He reads it and now he knows she likes him and everything. So they start to become friends and interact and everything. And the episode ends with them watching a Bollywood number with her two friends and the rest of the family. And I gotta say, I do like this show. It's like, it's not silly, goofy like a Disney Channel show. It is dealing with real stuff, but in kind of like a polite, nice, almost G-rated kind of way, kind of PG a little bit, It's nice to see that the Amelia girl has flaws, that she's not perfect. That's always great to see in a character. I do think she is a great role model for like little kids, but she does need to conquer her fear and learn how to talk one day. It's gonna be rough for her because she saw something completely scary that just like she can't shake, you know what I'm saying? And it is so true when it comes to the school systems and young black kids and how they learn and how teachers always want to write them off. Because, you gotta remember, like, you gotta remember how black people were hundreds of years ago. When they came to this country, they came as slaves. And so because of that, they were not taught education at all. And so when slavery was free, you had all these uneducated black people. Some learned, that was able to learn, and others were not. And as time went on, you gotta remember who taught like next generation, their grandparents and parents and great grandparents and stuff. And so when you have a person in your family who's not very educated and they're trying their best to help a child at home when they do like homework, it can be like really hard, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all black people can't catch on, because there are some that really can. There are a lot that really can. But then there are those exceptions that have a hard time because it's their guardians who have a hard time teaching them. And that's something people have to remember. You gotta remember, black people did not have the best education hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and then when things started to like get a little bit better for us, we still weren't given like good education and stuff like that because it was very segregated and stuff. And and we don't, a lot of us aren't able to get into like the really pristine colleges and the really like high paying jobs and stuff like that because it's still to this day is very segregated. Now, wasn't that romantic? Or depressing, depending on what kind of video I just talked about. Okay, well, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And bye.